And, it's weird that it took a computer for us to do this. But this whole AI thing is creating an existential crisis of people saying, well, what the fuck is all of this? What are we? What is...
Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. Raoul dives into Bitcoin's market outlook, its wild volatility, and price predictions. It also unpacks Trump's economic priorities, contradictions, and overall strategy. Let's watch him break it all down.
The US will be draining what's known as the Treasury General Account, which is their checking account. That will increase liquidity significantly in the US over the next few months until they negotiate the debt ceiling. I think there is a broader deal that's going to get done with the dollar and China. And I think the US is been using the strong dollar as a negotiation point with China. China can't stimulate its broken economy right now until the dollar weakens, because if they stimulate, they'll break the peg against the dollar, which they do not want. They don't want capital flight. So you need the dollar to come down, and then the Chinese can stimulate and help the world economy recover. The US knows this, and it's a tool for everybody. If Chinese economy starts to recover, they'll buy US treasuries. So we're at the really interesting point in the cycle where all the debt has to get refinanced, all the games have to get played, the dollar needs to weaken, rates will come down, and everyone will refinance their debts by adding liquidity. What does that all mean? All of the macro stuff, all it means is number go up. Liquidity is debasement of currency. Debasement of currency is the driver of crypto prices and all asset prices. So it all lies ahead this year. What's interesting is the discussion around when the cycle ends. So a lot of people have PTSD because of the last cycle, and that finished early. It peaked in April, went down 50%, up, made a new high, and then kind of just failed, right? That was driven by the fact that the business cycle, the ISM survey, peaked in March 2021. Why? Because we had that snap crash from COVID and then snap back up, and the business cycle peaked, as did liquidity. So the cycle peaked. So as it went down again, tried to come up again, but kind of failed because there was no follow-through because the business cycle had peaked. This time around, the business cycle is actually still below 50, which is the slow growth zone, not recession zone, but slow growth. And all the forward-looking indicators say the US economy and the global economy is about to get a lot stronger. And so we're nowhere near peaking. In fact, we're only just bottoming. So the chances are that we might even go through all the way till Q1 2026. So I think we've got a longer cycle. I think it will almost certainly outperform the last cycle and looks more like 2017 to me, which, guess what, was a Trump cycle. And we entered the Trump cycle last time with tariffs and, oh my God, this and that. Rates were going up and the dollar was going up. Trump came into office and immediately said the dollar's too high. The dollar came lower. China were also near recession. They had to stimulate. They spent the rest of the next 2 years stimulating. And that's what drove the crypto cycle in 2017. So we've got an incredible similar setup to 2017, which you were around for that one. It was bullish as hell.
The crypto market might take over 2 months to fully recover if past patterns repeat, according to analyst Matthew Howland. Based on historical trends, altcoin prices may not return to their December highs until at least April. Howland warns that investors should manage their expectations and be prepared for a slow recovery rather than a rapid rebound. February 3 marked one of the most significant liquidation events in crypto history, with over $2.24 billion wiped out within 24 hours. Some experts, like Bybit's co-founder Ben Zhu, believe the real number could be closer to $10 billion. The sell-off was fueled by market fears over U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed 25% tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China, which raised concerns of a potential trade war. While the tariffs on Canada and Mexico were later paused, the damage to the crypto market had already been done. Bitcoin briefly dipped below the $100,000 mark for the first time since January 27, falling to $92,584 before recovering slightly to $97,570. This dip, while significant, may indicate that the worst is over. However, if history is any guide, full recovery will take time. Past disruptions, like the 2020 COVID-19 crash and the 2022 collapses of Terra and FTX, all required months for the market to stabilize. Holland emphasized that expecting a quick V-shaped recovery within days is unrealistic. Even in 2020, when Bitcoin rebounded strongly, the climb back took weeks and was filled with multiple dips along the way. The market may eventually regain momentum, but patience will be key.
Has Amazon been in a super cycle? Yeah. Has Microsoft? Yeah. Has Google? Yeah. Have they all had massive correction periods during the downside of the 4-year cycle? Yes, every single time. So what you don't do is you don't get rid of the cyclicality. It's the compounding of returns over time. Now, the only change that I could say is possible, and I think is likely, is that the downside in Bitcoin is not as big as people expect. Right? The free money trade is you try and sell out somewhere near the top, or even if you don't sell out, you're waiting for the dip to buy more. The answer is usually wait till it's down 70%, 75%, start buying, and you make a 20, 30x on that trade every time. My guess is it probably ends up down 40 and not down 75. And that will create a lot of complications for people who are waiting for the big leg lower. And people are going to get caught out, I think, in this cycle. Now, that doesn't mean all of the long tail stuff doesn't go down 90%. Of course it will. But I'm thinking about Bitcoin itself as the anchor price to this whole thing. I kind of am the impression of what changes is the downside is reduced in Bitcoin. Unlike VC, these are coming to market instantly. So if you were to look at really early stage seed investments, and if you were to have a real-time mark-to-market on those, they'd be horrific. Are we going to die today? Are we going to survive tomorrow? Are we going to die today? I mean, that's all it is. They're the same. It's the same thing. It just happens to be the earlier stage bit that's hidden, because in VC there's no mark-to-market really until a token launches or equity becomes tradable, i.e. different people want to pay for the equity. This is exactly the trade, and I've been doing it, the Solana or the ETH trade, right? You wait for the washout, everything goes to zero, and you look what has value. What has value? CryptoPunks. They were a fucking gift at about 20 ETH. You've got probably Bored Apes, bit riskier, but probably going to survive and do well. You've got stuff like meme community PFPs like Crypto Dick Butts, Rec Guy. These things, yeah, Crypto Dick Butts. It makes you smile.
Are they still there?
Yes, and they're going up in value. Why? Because all the OGs, people like myself, have been buying them because they're so OG, right? You kind of know somebody's into crypto if they own a Crypto Dick Butt. It's like a cheap version of a punk, and they're just amazing. And there's some group who's got the Crypto Dick Butt heist going on. It's a Twitter handle, and they seem to be kidnapping dick butts, which is genius.
Yeah, the price really picked up recently.
Yeah.
I've been paying attention.
So PFPs aren't dead. We're going through the Lindy effect and seeing which ones are going to last. And the ones that last are going to become very valuable. So that's the same trade that we got before. It's the same with the art market. We've been given, because these lag in terms of time, the rest of the crypto market, but wealth gets recycled into art NFTs, let's say Xcopy, Beeple, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing capital flowing as people are funneling profits into high status art.
Bitcoin and major altcoins saw a pullback on Tuesday as traders braced for an important press conference by David Sachs, the AI and CryptoXR. With Bitcoin hovering around $100,000 and blue-chip altcoins like Ethereum, Cardano, and XRP struggling to gain momentum, investors are watching closely to see what signals emerge from the upcoming announcement. Meanwhile, smaller cryptocurrencies like Radium and Bittenser have outperformed, showing that traders are still searching for opportunities amid the market uncertainty. One of the key factors influencing price movements is the escalating trade war between the U.S. and China. The U.S. has implemented a 10% tariff on Chinese imports, while China has responded with its own levies and an investigation into Google. These tensions have raised concerns about inflation, which could impact both traditional markets and the crypto space. However, there is a possibility that both nations will pause further actions to allow negotiations to take place, just as the U.S. has already done with Mexico and Canada. SAC's press conference is set to be a pivotal moment, as President Trump has made leadership in artificial intelligence and crypto a core focus of his administration. Joined by crypto-friendly legislators like Tim Scott and John Boozman, SAC is expected to outline regulatory priorities that could shape the industry's future. Potential topics include the approval process for crypto exchange-traded funds and efforts to simplify regulations, which could provide a clearer framework for investors and businesses alike. Technical indicators suggest Bitcoin may be on the verge of a breakout. A cup and handle pattern that formed between November 2021 and October 2023 indicates a bullish trend, with Bitcoin already moving above key moving averages. If momentum builds, Bitcoin could rally toward $123,000, potentially lifting altcoins like Ethereum and Solana along with it. With the market at a crossroads, all eyes are on SAC to see whether his remarks will fuel renewed optimism or deepen the current uncertainty. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.